something I was really excited to hear is you guys are going to be on Hell's Heroes in Houston.
Yes.
So how long have you known about this festival? Are you like you must be very excited to perform at it, especially with some of your influences being more 70s metal. So
Mhm.
talk to me about this festival.
Yeah, for sure. I think we know about this festival. Yeah, for a couple of years, we always yeah had an eye on it. Yeah, and we always yeah loved this festival. And of course, when we got um, we got the offer from our booker to play there. Yeah, it was clear for us to play there. And yeah, also friends of us from Attic. I don't know if you know the band Attic.
Yep.
They played there last year, and yeah, they just told us great things about Texas and yeah, and the festival in general, the people there, the maniacs.
Have you guys been to Texas yet?
No, not
No,
not yet.
no, not
No.
yet. I've been to the States once in 2020, just a few weeks before Corona hit the world. And but I wasn't to Texas. I was just in, I think, Arizona and California and the state where Las Vegas is in. I think it's, how was it called?
Yeah,
Nevada.
Nirvana. Yeah,
Nevada.
yeah, yeah.
Nevada. I've never been to
So
Texas. No.
so you guys has the band performed in the US?
Never. It's our
Never.
first
So
time.
this will be the debut.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
That's quite
So
a
it's,
debut, man. Like
yeah,
Hell's
it's
Heroes.
the plan is to play some gigs around the Hells Heroes. So it's still not it's still not clear if we doing the shows before the Hells Heroes or after the Hells Heroes festival, or maybe a little tour starts before, just a few days before the Hells Heroes. Then we play the Hells Heroes, and then we're going back on the tour. There's no plan yet for this, but yeah, at least it's
Oh,
planned.
Awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, one year there, get the barbecue. It's
I hope
best in the
so. I
world.
hope
Yeah.
so. That's why we're coming.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I was living in Austin for a while, and there's a place called Terry Black's. Amazing. So good, man. And I think
Okay.
there's some good places around there too. So I love the band. And I love like some of the influences I hear in the music are so interesting, you know. Um, like some British new wave, some like doom metal, some like really like, even like early 70s heavy metal. I'm just curious, like what were both of your like first records and like early introductions to the genre?
Jannik, erzähl.
My first record I listened to in this genre was the Somewhere in Time album from Iron Maiden on a cassette. And yeah, then it goes on with, I think, Manowar. And after that, I bought the Brave New World from Maiden. And so, yeah, it's for me till now my favorite band, I have to say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And for me, I think when we're talking really about classic heavy metal, I think that started with a cassette in my father's Mercedes C-Class, like 15 years ago. Um, I found a tape of Black Sabbath's Headless Cross album in this car, and I listened to it over and over again. And then I realized, oh, that's the same band which got, I think it's 7 or 8 albums with Ozzy. And then I remember myself ordering myself a Christmas present, all the Ozzy albums. And I think those were those were my introductions to classic heavy metal.
Headless Cross is quite an interesting
Yeah,
Devil and Daughters on that, I think, right? Yeah.
yeah, and
That's a
When Death Calls, I think, is
yeah,
my favorite
yeah.
one.
I
That is
think
a
it's
great album.
I think it's one of the best Sabbath albums. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my
I think so
favorite
too.
Tony Martin record from Sabbath. That's so interesting, man. And also, like Somewhere in Time is that was actually my introduction to Maiden too, and that's like my favorite
Great one.
Maiden record. A lot of people say it's either the debut or Killers, but like super like proggy Maiden. And I'm not talking about like their newer stuff where it's like, you know, 8 LPs like for a record. Like I love early, you know, proggy Maiden. But that's awesome, man. So um you guys formed in Germany, I assume.
Mhm.
And how did that formation look like? Like how did everyone meet each other?
Yeah. Um, I told the story already a lot of times.
Yeah.
But now,
Real quick,
of
one
course,
minute
for
summary.
our American friends, I was recording an album with my previous band in the basement of Alistair's father. Alistair is our drummer, and then Alistair and Ricardo, our singer, just came down. We had a little talk, and we realized that we already planned to do music together for like the last 5 or 6 or even more years where we knew each other. And yeah, then we just said, okay, then let's do it now. And yeah, we met like 2 or 3 weeks later in the rehearsal room. We had like 2 or 3 songs. Then we recruited another bass player, Jones, who quit the band I think 9 months ago. That's why Jannik is sitting here. And we also recruited another guitarist, Henry. He's of course still with us. And yeah, and this was the beginning of the band, The Nighty Turner.
Cool. And what was it like navigating the German scene in 2018?
What do you mean with navigating?
Like when you started, like doing gigs locally and you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
local, like around where you were living at the time. I assume you
yeah.
guys were playing a lot of local shows when you started.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're very lucky that we live in an area of Germany, which is, yeah, you could call it the capital of heavy metal in Germany, the Ruhrgebiet, Ruhr area. I mean, like famous bands like Sodom or Creator are from this area. So there's still yeah, a big heavy metal scene also for small bands, for underground bands. And yeah, that was maybe also kind of lucky for us because, yeah, we played, I think, our second gig on the birthday party of Flo from Dying Victims Records. Maybe you know it. It's a
Yes.
underground label from Germany. Yeah, we played on his birthday in a rehearsal room, and yeah, we never had any problems with our area here. Yeah, it was more like that. It was yeah that we never had problems. We so I can't say anything negative about the scene here in our area and in Germany in general. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
Germany is
you know, if
one of the best places to start as a band, of course.
yeah, I believe it, man. And it's like I've talked to a few bands on the podcast already, like, you know, who started in the 80s. And it's
Mhm.
interesting hearing you know, how they went about, you know, going through the local scene. I had no idea what it was like, you know, nowadays or 2018, you know, is way closer to today than the 80s. So, you know, I was curious how it evolved and if it was, you know, any different, but it seems to still be, you know, very much alive and great. So that's really cool to hear that it's still going.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean, on the one hand, of course, it's the positive thing that everyone can share their music. Yeah, but on the other hand, maybe it's also the bad thing about it. Then everyone shares their music, so you get a lot of yeah. I think the right word is mediocre. Is this the right word?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
mediocre.
yeah. And you get to
Uh-huh.
hear a lot of mediocre stuff. And I think in the 80s or even before, it was more like, okay, you're doing good stuff. Somehow the people will get to know it, get to hear it. And nowadays, yeah, you also have to listen to the real yeah bad stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I think nowadays it's like, you know, even in LA and stuff, there's almost like too many metal bands, you know, because it's just
Yeah,
so
I
easy to start a band
agree.
nowadays. Where before it was like a lot tougher. But there's a lot of, you know, the music does speak for itself. I think you guys are so, you have so many vintage elements to your sound, but like it's so new and fresh at the same time. What made you guys want to like take traditional heavy metal and give like a darker approach to that genre?
Yeah. Um, I think it was more of a natural process, because right at the beginning, we thought about, yeah, what is the style of music of heavy metal we want to play. And yeah, the I think the main reason to play a dark, sinister style or kind of heavy metal was really that we were missing this kind of heavy metal in the scene, because I mean there are a lot of bands who are doing power metal. There are a lot of bands who are doing heavy metal, but it still sounds like power metal. And there are a lot of bands who playing 70s rock. But I think nowadays there are not many bands who are playing really traditional. And with traditional, I mean melancholic, dark, sinister heavy metal. Let's go back to the Black Sabbath topic. Yeah, Black Sabbath is not any happy metal, no major keys or something like this, just minor keys, melancholic, sometimes even sad. And yeah, I think we are just doing what heavy metal is actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's really cool to hear, man. And it's funny because when I saw the EP, the self-titled EP, I listened to you guys because I assumed you were like a doom metal band.
Mm,
Because I saw the
really?
name and I saw the art, but I was really pleasantly surprised. Are you guys into doom metal at
Not at
all?
all.
Not at
Not at
all.
all.
It's
No.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
a little bit.
Like
Because I
warning 4-0 and stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Well,
But I,
I was really pleasantly surprised because it's a way more unique sound than traditional doom metal. So I'd say you guys pull from just hearing, being a listener, like 70s music. Is that true? Would you say the decade of the 70s is like the most important decade to the band's sound?
I think if you'd be talking right now to other two members of this band, or the other three members of this band, they'd say yes. I'd go with the 80s.
yeah, me too.
And him too. Yeah, but maybe it's also this mixture out of 80s, out of 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can definitely hear both decades for sure, man. And
Mhm.
it's like it's just again, I love the band sound. And we were talking about like navigating the like local scene and whatnot. Do you remember like the first gig of the band, like the first show?
Yeah.
How did that go?
The first show of the band was, I think, around something like the 15th of September in 2018. So it just was 6 years ago. 6 years ago, we played at the birthday concert of Spandex Marco from the Netherlands. He's a local promoter, and I think it was something like on a Thursday, and we had three own songs, one cover, the Judas Priest cover,
Yeah.
that is also on our EP. And yeah, this was our first concert, and it was like 18 minutes or 20 minutes, I think. Maybe
So,
maybe it were also five songs. I think we all also played Manila Road.
oh,
Nec-
nice,
Ah,
nice,
I think we
nice,
also played Necropolis.
nice, nice. So,
Yeah.
was this before or after the EP? I'm not sure if you clarified.
This was the year before the EP. The
The year
EP came
before the EP.
in July 19, and the gig was in September 18. Yeah, and I think this was the only gig for the next 6 months. I think the next gig was at the party of Flo. This was, I think, around April 2019.
So what, you mentioned you played the cover, which I love that song. That Scream for Vengeance is like one of my favorite Priest albums. What made you guys want to cover Judas Priest?
Yeah, because we were looking for a cover we can pull we could pull off fast, and yeah, then we were like, okay, then let's play this one, and let's play Necropolis. And I think back
So
then
you just threw it on the record?
yeah, we just threw it on a record. We just needed some time for the record. We just needed to make some miles, and yeah,
Well,
that's
I think it just works so good with like the band's sound. And it's like it's one of those covers that like you definitely add to it without changing
Mhm.
the source material too
Yeah.
much. But really, really cool, man. So Moonlit Cross, how soon did you guys start writing that after the EP's release? Was that right away?
It was right away. Yeah, we started writing this stuff. We already had some songs, and then I think, if I'm right, Corona hit around the beginning of 2020. Um, we already had like five or six songs, something like this, and then around yeah, maybe it was, I can't remember. I think it was the Moonlit Cross came in November 21, so I think we started recording around November 20, and then all this then yeah, there were all this stuff, this Corona stuff, when you weren't allowed to leave your house after 10 o'clock. I don't know if it was the same in the US, but in Germany you were not allowed in some weeks to leave your house after 10 o'clock, so you just could record until like 9 o'clock, then drive back home, and then you could come the other day. Yeah, and yeah, but yeah, we had to answer the question. Yeah, we wrote the material right away after the EP. We had it, and then we just yeah, arranged it, pre-produced, and so on, and then did the final recording.
Nice. Cool. And with like members and everything, like what is that like writing chemistry like? Like do you guys were you able to meet up? Were you just like kind of on like WhatsApp app or whatever and like just like sending riffs to each other? What was that even like?
Um, yeah, it's more like a mixture of both. Um, some songs, yeah, you're just in the most cases, yeah, I got some riffs. I'm doing a pre-production, maybe with a yeah, with a drum computer. Then we meet in the rehearsal room, yeah, and then the other guitar plays something, the bass plays something. We're thinking of a good drum beat. And then we're doing like a second pre-production, and then Ricardo starts with his singing. Yeah, normally, usually he's doing that from home. Yeah, because he just can concentrate better, I think. And yeah, then we're doing a second pre-production, a third pre-production, until we're finally there to say, okay, this is a good song. We can record it, yeah. But we're not the classic band that meets up in the rehearsal room once a week and is jamming. It's more like we are rehearsing when we have to play gigs, and we often have to play gigs. But for songwriting, we're not meeting always. It's more like, okay, there's a riff, recording it maybe with a drum computer. Then we meet up in the rehearsal room. Yeah, we're doing a real drum beat over it, and then just yeah,
Yeah.
we yeah, you know.
Well, yeah. Was that the same case for a Fatale?
Um, Let me think about it. Yeah, it was the same case, but we even did more pre-productions.
Okay.
So I remember starting one pre-production in um, I think it was even November, in November 21, right away after Moonlit Cross came out. I started one pre-production, throughout December, January, and then we did a pre-production with also yeah, the whole band with drums and guitars and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the band's newest album is like definitely the best. Like everything's just so
Thank you.
fuller. The production is like just fuller, you know, and grander. The vocals are like, you know, I didn't think they could even be a step up from the previous album, but they definitely are. Something that definitely, you know, like I said, that stood out to me was the production. Are you guys like hands-on at all with production, or do you just let someone take care of that?
For example, the Fatal record, Marco Brinkmann recorded and also mixed it. And yeah, I think we had like 3 or 4 hour talk with him before recording it about drum sound, about guitar sound, about the bass sound, about how the vocals have to sound. So it was a really you could say in-depth talk about sound, about what we wanna hear, what we wanna achieve with this record. Yeah, and then he started experimenting with all kinds yeah, of possibilities, and then yeah, for example, for the guitar sound, he made like 6 different sounds, always with guitar A and guitar B and guitar and sound A and B, and then we had like, okay, this is A B, and this is B B A, and this is B A, and then we chose of one of these guitar sounds. Yeah, and everything else. I think there's also a lot of character from Marco in this album, because I think he has a special kind of, yeah, drum sound, which like had like every of his recording has. Yeah, for example, if you listen to the Vulture stuff, yeah, it's not the exact same sound, the exact same drum sound, but it's the same direction, I'd say. This a little bit over the top 80s thing. As Marco said, was heißt Geheimnis auf Englisch? The secret. um,
Yeah.
the secret is, Marco told me once, to record the drums how you would never record drums today. It's absolutely forbidden to record drums like this today, and this is exactly how he's doing it to get the sound.
Well, it worked.
But he's so
Yeah, it
great
worked. I
at,
think so. I think so.
he's so great at mixing and all this kind of stuff. He has some good ideas. And yeah,
Yeah.
good guy.
Yeah, it's you know, I was just so curious because it's like it has this old school sound, but it just like it sounds so great. You know, it's not like you
Thank you.
lose. It's like it doesn't sound like a wall of sound. You know, it has such a grand production and stuff. I assume you guys had like a bigger budget and more studio time for this release.
A little bit, for
Yeah.
sure, yes.
How much time in the studio did you guys get?
How much time did we get in the studio? I think it was 1 week for the. No, I think it was even less. It was like 3 or 4 days for the drums.
Oh wow.
Um, then not that much time for guitars. That's why that's why I failed in the first place to record everything in time. But then yeah, we got a little bit more time, and yeah, I think it was like actively were in the studio like, I don't know. I mean, I even can't remember. Maybe 3 weeks or 2 weeks for the guitars and for the bass and the overdubs, the solos and so on, and the vocals we always did when we had time, always in between the sessions. We did some vocals.
Cool. So I can't, you know, imagine how Moonlit Cross was because that was probably quite the you know, crunch time. And if you're
Yeah,
saying only like having 3 weeks for this was kind of stressful, I can't imagine. Uh, or I assume you had like less time. for that
Not
record?
really, not really, because it was while Corona,
Oh yeah, so that
and then
was
we didn't have any pressure, because you couldn't play any concerts. All tours got canceled, all concerts got canceled, everything got canceled, releases got canceled, so we didn't have any pressure. But yeah.
yeah, so that was way more relaxed and just chill, which is interesting because every band seems to have the complete opposite, where it's the first album where it's like, they have like a week to record it, and they're pressured and stuff. Where you guys kind of were able to just like kick back. And you have like a home studio at all to like record riffs and
No,
not at all?
not at all, no. I just got a yeah, this interface, from sometimes recording guitar, but I wouldn't call it home studio. I think a table and an interface and a laptop is no home studio.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there are some
yeah.
people out there who would call it home studio. So maybe
Yeah,
I have a home
for,
studio.
for,
Maybe I have a home
for a
studio.
black metal project with one guy, it's perfect. You don't need more.
So this record, I know when making an album, you're listening to, 5-second increments a million times, and it's really hard to determine like this is the quality of a record. Well, now it's been out, it came out in June,
Uh,
Fatal?
Last July, yeah, July 23.
July, July 23. So, being able to sit on it for a while now, how do you look back at the record?
Um, Nowadays I'd maybe change two things, just sound wise, but otherwise I'm really happy with it.
What would you change?
Oh,
Out of
maybe
curiosity.
sound-wise, I'd change the loudness of the guitars in the beginning of Stars Guide My Way. I think they are really not loud enough. And about the
Interesting.
other thing, I already forgot.
Well, I find that really interesting, man. Now, I just want to know where, the direction of the sound is going. Has everything been like a conscious decision, because there's definitely been quite a change from, the EP, the debut, and the second album. Do you see the band getting heavier over time, or is it all just like a natural evolution that you don't really think about?
That's exactly what you're saying is right. It's completely natural, and I think this is much healthier for a band. Um, yeah, to just see where the music is leading you, instead of saying, okay, the next album we have to be heavier, we have to be more melodic, we have to be less melodic, or we have to do whatever. Um, yeah, because I think it all comes naturally. Yeah, the first album is like the first try to make heavy metal for us. The second album is where we maybe found our own style. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the third album is yeah, let's see. But
Yeah.
I, but I'd say as far as I'm concerned, I'd say it's more melodic and it's heavier.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, I agree. And something I love about the band is I've listened to a bunch of bootlegs on like YouTube and stuff, and you guys are
Mhm.
just so good live, and the
Thank
music
you,
just
man.
translates so well. I'm not sure how far in advance or like how big of a roadmap you guys have made for the band. Have you thought about maybe like putting out like a couple live tracks or like potentially a live record in the future?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? Yeah,
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
yeah, why not? If we have some good recordings, and maybe we can if there are some fails on it, we can yeah, re-record the one or another part like everyone's doing it today. Yeah, maybe we can put out a live record, but I wouldn't say that it's yeah, it's priority to put out a live record.
Yeah, it's priority.
No, it's not
No.
priority.
Oh, I thought you said it
No,
is priority. I'm like, all right, shit.
no, it's not our priority to do a live record. Yeah, our priority is
damn.
to get our gigs done and to record the new album to put it out in 2025. And if somewhere in between, there's the possibility to do a good live recording, maybe even with filming. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Maybe it's the Hell's Hero is a good place.
Maybe at the
Maybe.
That
yeah,
would be a pretty sick
Hero.
live album. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Now you mentioned future material. So in terms of the new record, how far into, writing and production is the band?
Yeah, let's put it that way. We know which songs we're gonna record, but we still have to do one or two pre-productions before we're gonna do the real production. So I think we're on tour in November. We don't got any gigs for December, so December will be a very important month to get this done. Yeah, and then we will see. In a perfect world, we'd do maybe another pre-production in January, and then record in February, March, April. Yeah, to have it to have it done by maybe April, and then we could put it out in like after the festival season in hopefully October. This would be in an ideal world. This would be the scenario.
Awesome.
But let's
Awesome.
see.
Well, I'm really excited because, as a fan, I love where the band's sound is going, and I like
Yeah,
that
me
each
too.
record is very independent within itself.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel? I'm not sure if you can even determine this yet, and you can tell me if you can't, but how do you think this new album's going to stand out in the rest of the band's discography?
I can't tell you yet, really. I can't tell you yet.
Yeah.
Maybe the same, like I said, like 5 minutes ago. I think it's more melodic. It got more of the Night Eternal hooks. It got more of the Night Eternal riffs. It's maybe even a little bit more sinister, darker, but at the same time more melodic, more hooks, more great riffs. So maybe just for me the aim is always to put out for like to make everything that's making Night Eternal the Night Eternal make even more outstanding. So you can choose for yourself what do you think is the best thing about the music, and we try to make this even better and to make the kind of music we'd like to hear ourselves if we wouldn't play in this band.
Awesome. Well, really great to hear, guys. And it's been really great talking to you. And I cannot wait for this new release. You were talking about doing a few gigs around Hell's Heroes. I'd like to give you
Mhm.
guys the floor if you want to promote any upcoming shows you guys have or anything.
Mhm. Yeah, as I said, the plan is to tour around this, but we don't have any concrete tour dates yet. But maybe in about 1 or 2 months when this thing is going to be released, we already have some dates around it, and yeah, we can just put it on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube where you upload this.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that kind of answered what I was going to ask because I'm curious, like, what's the best way for people to stay updated with the band? Like just Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, exactly. Instagram or Facebook, this is it. We don't have a TikTok channel yet.
I
No way, no way.
don't think you need one.
I think so too. I think so too. And
Yeah.
yeah, so for everyone, for all people over 40, Facebook, all people under 40, Instagram, and all
Instagram.
people under 15, TikTok.
Awesome. Awesome. You guys are on Bandcamp too. Um,
Yeah, but it's not our side. I think our current label is running the site.
Oh,
We
is it?
don't have anything to do with the Bandcamp site.
Okay.
At
We'll
least
check.
not me.
Yeah, yeah. We'll check out,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Really, really appreciate it.
All right.
All
So thank you
right.
very much. And yeah, then I think we see you at Hell's Heroes in
I'll
I think
see you
March.
guys at Hell's Heroes. I will be look at Barricade. I'll be the first
All
Yeah.
one.
right.
I'm Brandon Battick, and this is Disturbing the Priest.